Hi, my name is Courtney Leteski May, and I'm wearing this delightful colored shirt because I'm going to talk to you about uniforms. How many of you remember this jingle from the Back to School Staples TV commercial?
It's the most wonderful time of the year.
Wait for it.
Staples. That was easy.
But was it? Going back to school could go either way, especially when your parents were given the option to fill out this survey for those dreaded school uniforms. Depending on your sense of style and how you feel about school dress codes, what you have to wear to school every day is either a dream come true or a total freaking nightmare. What's the big deal? Why can't students just wear whatever they want to school? Why do parents feel the need to dictate our every move? And why do school boards want us all looking the same? How boring. If you think about it, what we wear should be our choice. After all, we're the ones wearing the clothes. However, every September, without fail, the never-ending debate over uniforms rages again. Should uniforms be a thing of the past, or should we bring them back into schools to prevent bullying and division? The questions are numerous, as are the answers. The school uniform dress code policy starts with Ontario's Provincial Code of Conduct, which stipulates clear standards of behavior for individual school boards to follow, so that they can develop their own codes of conduct. What's a code of conduct? Well, it is a set of rules outlining the social norms and rules and responsibilities of or proper practices for an individual, party, or organization. And in this case, it's the school board. And each school must have their own code of conduct and a bullying prevention and intervention plan and procedure in place. But what does this have to do with what I wear to school? According to Barbara C. Cruz, a University of South Florida professor and author of School Dress Codes, a Pro-Con Issue, each student has an external persona and it is manifested through what they wear and how they wear their hair. Adolescence is a time for self-exploration, self-discovery, and identity development. Kids are testing out who they want to be. However, then you have parents saying things like, dressing in a professional manner at a young age instills a sense of pride and responsibility and sets kids up with a mental attitude that will enhance learning. Or trying to explain how school uniforms make schools safer for students and create a level playing field that reduces socioeconomic disparities and encourages children to focus on their studies rather than their clothes. Those comments may be true, but then you have the opposing side, which believes that school uniforms infringe upon students' rights to express their individuality and actually emphasize the socioeconomic disparities that they are intended to disguise by wearing designer labels or shopping at Walmart. Or school uniforms restrict students' freedom of expression. As the Canadian Charter of Rights and Freedom states, everyone has the freedom of thought, belief, opinion, and expression. And by forcing students to wear a uniform or abide by a dress code, you're essentially taking that right away from them. This debate could go on and on and on, but if I think about my experience as a student, which by the way was a really long time ago, I didn't want a uniform. Not because they were ugly or unflattering, but because I wanted to dress how I wanted to dress, and maybe it was the way of expressing who I was. I don't know. But if I consider how useful and effective uniforms or dress codes could have been today, like sleeping in because I already know what I have to wear, or not having to think if I was late in the morning, they do sound pretty appealing. But then again, I think about all the initiatives and campaigns that are in schools now, such as You Can Sit With Us campaign, which is in support of being kind, or the National Day of Pink, where we celebrate diversity with everyone wearing a pink shirt to support anti-bullying, anti-discrimination, anti-phobia, and anti-transphobia and trans-misogyny. With uniforms and dress codes, these are things we'd have to take into consideration before we could even bring them into the school. Not to mention that uniforms and dress codes usually pinpoint us female students and let the males off the hook. Again, this is not what my rant is about. It's about whether or not uniforms or dress codes should be in every school. Like I said, looking back, now it sounds like it would have been a useful idea, but at the time I know I didn't want them. So what does that mean? Well, I think it means that letting me express who I was got me to where I am today. And maybe if I'd been forced to adhere to certain social norms and dress codes, then I would have been a completely different person. As far as I'm concerned, students should be able to express who they are by wearing what they want, so long as it's not offensive. I wonder what this debate would look like if the teacher's dress attire was the one being questioned. That's maybe a topic for next week. Thanks for listening to my rant, and you'll see my references later.